Ryan Desh here, broker owner of R&K Real Estate. And how does a buyer buy a house with little to no money down? Several ways. Let's start with the no money down. These would include your VA loans, your USDA loans, and things like that. And VA would be veterans. So if you're a veteran, you can get 100% financing, or 100% LTV is what they call it, loan to value ratio, which means zero money down, 0% down. So, but rural USDA has to be more rural. Can't really buy a house inside Lawrence or Kansas City or Topeka with that, but you can in Baldwin and Eudora. And if you're a veteran, you just have to qualify as a veteran. And so those are a couple of products. And then we can go to the little to money down, and these would include your FHA. People, that's probably the first thing that comes to mind is a 3.5% down FHA loan. And the thing to keep in mind with FHA loans is they come with a little bit more cost, typically, and you also have to carry mortgage insurance, and that you'll carry until the loan gets to about 80 to 20 LTV. So until you've got about 20% equity. You have to pay that mortgage insurance. And then there are things like 3% conventional, actually. And this is a product I tend to like a little bit more than FHA, but it just kind of depends on the buyer and their financial situation, credit score, all that kind of stuff. But you can do 3% conventional. You can also do 5% conventional and 10% conventional. All those are lower than what you would typically think of as a conventional loan is 20% down. But the thing to also keep in mind, if you're going to do anything less than 20% down, you're going to have mortgage insurance until you reach that 80-20 LTV. So it's always a good idea to pay more up front, particularly those first few years on your mortgage. It's always good advice. And then things to keep in mind, a lot of banks, a lot of lenders these days have, especially for your first time home buyers, grant money that's available to help with like your closing costs, or things like that. Down payment assistance, and there's different programs, and even different cities, different governments offer these kinds of things. So always something to look out for. And any good lender, any good local lender will know about these kinds of programs and be able to steer the clients that fit those programs into them. And a note on seller concessions, we don't see this a lot in the current market because there's just inventory is too low. But you can always ask the seller to help out on closing costs. As long as the math, ends up at the bottom line for the seller, it shouldn't really matter whether they're paying closing costs or. But it's got to work, and if you're asking for closing costs in a competitive situation as a buyer, you're probably not going to win that contract. You're not going to win that house if you're asking for closing costs because you just don't look as strong as a buyer. Unfortunately, just the reality these days. And then one last thing that I'll talk about is R&K, my own company. What we do is we have a buyer rewards program, which you can think of as grant money that would come in the form of a gift card, say to Home Depot, or Lowe's, or even Nebraska Furniture Mart. You could use it towards appliances. If you're thinking of renovating a bathroom, it'll go to that. So that's a powerful program that we offer that's designed to put a little bit of money back in our clients' pockets after a successful closing. So think if you stack, some grant money from like a lender, a first-time buyer program, or a government program for down payment assistance, any of these things, and then stack that on top of the R&K Real Estate buyer gift rewards program. That's pretty powerful. It's a lot of money. That's money that buyers could put towards other things, put towards down payment more. So very powerful tools are out there, and it's always a good idea to shop around and look for these kinds of things. And again, local is key here. A lender who works for a Rocket Mortgage, that app does not know about these things. So it's very important to work with somebody, in Lawrence, if you're buying in Lawrence, and this is not something I can stress enough. So I'll stop talking about it now, but it's important. So anyway, that's the video for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.